Hi, my name's Noshas. I'm here with YouShubes, and this is Spurs Video Podcast. Apologies being kind of not the most timely with my video podcast. I'm kind of combining them, but I'm sorry to be really, really busy. Basically, you're going to talk about the Lazio game. First of all, how it goes out to those guys who are attacked. And one of them, like you saw them, had it's like someone put an axe to his head or something. Honestly, it looks really bad or something. Split his head open. So, got to thank the Lazio president for visiting the injured. I mean, like, you could say that because apparently he was a Roma fan, so you don't know if, we don't know all the details yet, but it was a nice gesture by him, and obviously, hearing the Jude and Tottenham and all the other stuff, that probably wasn't the best thing, but if people like Peter Herbert and David Baddiel, I'm David Baddiel, I'm just so cool. No, you're not. You had a couple of good shows, and that was it. And let's face how much of it really was down to you. But no, this is the thing about David Baddiel that really annoys me. There's a really good article on The Guardian, and the guy talks. He's a West Ham fan, and look, we like to have a go at West Ham. I like to call them the BNP, but there's a lot of guys who support West Ham, and and they're not all that bad. And there was one guy who talks about West Ham, and there was like going, you know what, when we I heard this, someone said something about, he said a racial swear word to, I think Caullker called one of their players, and the guy said, fuck off, don't be saying that kind of shit. So there was a big old barney between the two of them, but no one dared go to the stewards. No one dared do that because nobody wanted to do things in the grass. So this, I say this to you, David Baddiel. I would like to, for you, because when you go to a lot of the games of Spurs Chelsea, I want you, when you hear this in your vicinity, I want you to go to a steward and say, do you know what, that guy there, he said a racial swear word, and I just think that's so uncool. The minute I see you actually having the balls to grass up your own Chelsea players, then tell us what to do with ourselves. The actual game itself, I thought Tom Carroll again played pretty well. Delightful through ball. Bale timed her on to perfection, and then the linesman raises offside flag to perfection. It was just a beautiful bit of timing. It was a bit of a drag game. Lazio in the second half looked pretty decent. They didn't have there's that German player that's driving me insane now. But there's a really good German player that plays for them. I think he's been injured and he couldn't play. And there's a really interesting picture. I think it's Hernandez. I think it's the lad, is the guy. And you see a picture of him next to Tom Carroll, and Tom Carroll, honestly, he looks all of 14 in that picture. He really does. So I always thought that was just a bit, rather strange. But I thought Tom Carroll played well. I still would like to see him start, but I think with now Bale back, and again West Ham, he looked pretty fit. Hopefully, he'll get a few games, but I can see Dembele starting. It's Huddersfield. Against the West Ham game. Oh, the West Ham fans aren't they charmers though? Seriously, real charming guys. Hissing sounds and can we stab you every week? That's just charm personified. And again, these are just about. I wouldn't say all West Ham fans are about say 2,000. Let's say 5,000 West Ham fans turn up. It's probably about say 500 of them. So say 10%, which is a minority in any. Even if it was 1,000, say 1,000, say 500 or something. Out of say 3,000, that's less than 10. It's not the majority. It is a minority, but it's a significant enough minority, and it's a majority that doesn't say anything, and there's something that's got to be done about that. The first half was kind of uneventful. Bale had an absolutely beautiful chance, and it hit the crossbar, and that crossbar. I mean, we must have hit that crossbar at least 3 times. It was just ridiculous, but I think it showed that we could take shots at range. JD, and it was an absolute beautiful peach of a run. I mean, you thought he'd overrun it, but absolutely slotted it away. And then 1-0 up just before the break, and that changes Alaz's team look. He has to say, you know what, we don't go out, try and push forward. We're going to get beaten 1-0 anyway. We can't stay as we are. We have to go out, and obviously we were able to take advantage of the space. And I think we kept plugging away. How would we have been if we'd been 0-0? I think the nerves would have come in. They would have been, I don't know. And apparently Alan Gilzine was there, so the king was there. So that was a pretty impressive thing. And I don't know. I thought we played really well. I mean, Clint Dempsey had probably his best game. This is the thing with Clint Dempsey. Is he? As Aristotle once said, one swallow does not a summer make. You've got to be very careful how you say that phrase. But I still believe that. I think he's a very, very good player. He's an excellent player. But even he acknowledged that, what I was saying for a while, he's playing out of position. He was used to playing on the left wing, can't cut inside. Bale plays there as a crossing winger. Does like to cut inside to take a shot on goal, and switch. But he's not going to displace Bale. He's not going to be able to displace Bale there. So he's not really a classical winger per se. He's more like a Pinnock, an in between the lines kind of player. Are we going to see the best quality from him? I'm not too sure. I think he's a very good player. One of the passes, an absolute beauty of a pass for Bale, absolute peach of a pass, and you've got to give him credit for that. Again, I don't know how much of it was planned by him, but I thought that little ball through Lennon. But for me, and I'll tell you thing that Huddleston played an important part because he was on that good quick pass to Dempsey, who ran with it. Put the up and under. Again, Huddleston dispossessed Carroll. Sandro, and Dion got into it. Sandro beat the shit out of him and got it to Dempsey, who passed it on to Lennon, and boom, and Lennon. And he's probably the most unselfish player in the Premiership. Most players would I'm going to get up for a shot on goal. Nope, squared it. Looked at knew saw the foe was there. Defoe's running alongside. All he had to do was just square it. JD would just cut times run, bang. So whether it's unselfishness or just excellent wing play, I like to think it's a bit of both. And I thought we played really well. We could have had another one hit the thing. And Hugo Lloris, absolute beauty of a reaction save. For me, man of the match was Sandro, but Lloris, a couple times he saved us. And even when he was calling for it, he said, "Look, I'll deal with it." I think having played with Friedel for such a long time, we're so used to defenders doing the job of claiming the ball and declaring it, and not having the goalkeeper coming out to actually claim it. So I'll give Caullker the benefit of the doubt on this one, because I think he came out and he looked to pass the ball a few times. Dawson handled Carroll pretty much effectively. That was a very, Caullker, I think it went to Jarvis, and Jarvis just put a peach of cross in, and when you're running on someone, running onto the pass, you've already got that half second, you already got the momentum into the air, bang, it's there. And so, so obviously I'd like the 3 points in the clean sheet, but 3 points is 3 points. And obviously we've got Dembele to come back, so obviously a Liverpool game tomorrow. There's an interesting thing. You've got Rodgers, obviously, new manager at Liverpool, and you've got AVB, new manager at Spurs. Both trying to do a similar thing, not much over the weight. And again, Spurs invested heavily in the transfer market, and I'm like, no, we bought Sigurdsson, about 8 million, who you wanted, but we trumped you. We bought Dempsey, who you decided wasn't worth 6 million for whatever reason. You didn't think he was worth paying a bit extra for. So even that's 14 million. Vertonghen, I don't know, 10 million. That's 24 million. And even so, So that's it. And we sold. We bought Adebayor. That's 6 million. So it's a fair old amount there. And that's 30 odd million. And Dembele, so I say 45 million. Ignore the fact that we sold Luka Modric for at least 34 million, possibly rising up to say 36 million, and Van der Vaart for 12 million. So the fact that we balanced the books, forget that fact. We've invested really heavily. It's apparently we have a lower wage bill than Liverpool still. Arsenal's wage bill I think is about 2 million more a week or something, $1.5 million more a week. So but obviously we're doing something right, because why else would they be after Liverpool signed up Alex Inglethorpe? For those Spurs ideas, it's actually more for Windy, come on you Spurs. He goes to a lot of U-team games. I said, look, can you help me out? How much of Alex for Inglethorpe was the thing? And if you could put this on my YouTube page, I'd be really grateful if you could. I'd really appreciate that. If I don't know, I ask. And believe me, I know very little, so that's why I ask a lot. Obviously, guys, one of my mates, talks about Isco and Willian and Martinho. No other players are coming, because Isco, Martinho, Willian. First of all, I don't doubt their chance will let them go. Secondly, I think again I'll reiterate the point, because I think people are still hoping against all hope. I think personally they just might want to come, because I think, do you know what? They want to see out the journey. They will want to see out. Because I think I'm not sure about Shakhtar. I think they could still finish either second or top of their group. So it's a very even thing for them. But if both they and Juve decide to, we're just going for a draw and screw Chelsea, which will be hilarious, which will be very, very funny. I still think if such a case had happened, they can still, they might say, that's how far we can go. And I don't think I think we have missed the boat. And Moutinho, the same thing, we've missed out of the boat. Isco again, Malaga. I think he will leave Malaga at the end of the season. But I think he'll want us, play in the Champions League, get to the because I think the knockout, if memory serves, is in February. So, let's say they are knocked out in February. But at least he's shown against, I don't know, we have a second place team. They end up playing. Oh, this is how good we actually are. And who knows, if they make the quarters like we did, surprise, surprise, they make the quarters, just like we did. Then you've got your big clubs, you've got the Spanish clubs, obviously, you've got the German clubs. I think Dortmund actually are my dark horses for this, to win this. But you've got those big clubs there. You're thinking, well, if they do it, even if they don't win, but if he puts in a good performance, his profile just rockets up and way out of our price range. But you never know. Leave could charm the birds from the trees, or he could just put a lot of money to look. I'll pay you a lot of money now, and if we don't have a Champions League in 18 months' time, you know what? I'll put it in your contract. You have, we'll entertain a bid, but we'll have a maximum. We'll say, look, you've got to pay at least 30 million, and then we'll let you go. If we don't make Champions League for that year, within 18 months, we don't make Champions League. That's fine. We'll let you go. Whether or not it happens, I don't know. My team is Liverpool. Sorry, I'm scooting over comps. I'll sort of recap, but let's face it, that game was very, very drab. I mean, Carroll I thought played well. Bale, but it wasn't really much of a performance, and I think Lazio credit. I mean, Lazio really, the second half were absolutely killing us, and again, Hugo Lloris has really set himself up as with this game, the Lazio game and the West Ham game, he's really set him up as to be the number one. I think personally, look, I would like to retain goalkeepers to keep them fresh, but I think first of all, and this is just my thing. If you want to keep players fresh, which I think is an admirable quality, and then you want continuity, and I think someone like Caullker, obviously he's going to play against Lazio, but I'm hoping if he can play, I think it'll be Caullker again on. You want that communication, you want a rock solid back five, and you want them playing week in, week out. I'm not saying defenders can take more. Because especially what we ask of defenders, especially fullbacks as well, to be flying back and forth. But I think your central core defense, your two defenders and your goalkeeper, those three, that holy trinity, you should try and play them at least every game. So they build up an incredible, like communication, like a telepathy. Like they know, oh, he goes there, I go here. That's where the goalkeepers will come in. They just know how to work off each other. Obviously, Kabul's out until December. How that plays in, I still think it'll be Kabul and Vertonghen in front of Lloris. But I think credit to AVB. The temptation will be to rush in Hugo Lloris, and let's say Hugo Lloris had a what's that game? I forgot. De Gea, yeah. So he had a few games like that. De Gea, he's still not. He still plays Lindegaard sometimes. Plays De Gea. Which one is he going to play? And he's never really had a chance to really settle in because taking over from Van der Sar was always going to be very, very difficult. Friedel only had the one season with us, but man, and I think we can all appreciate last season he was such a huge improvement and a more reassuring presence than say Gomez was. I think in Lloris we've got a combination of both. We've got a guy who's a very good shot stopper, but it will also look to eliminate many of the problems by actually claiming the balls and working off his line and actually coming out and trying to claim. I think the best of Gomez and the best of Brad Friedel, and I think that's we've got in Hugo Lloris. And like I said, this is a guy. I mean, I think Lyon. Obviously, they're not the Champions League club they were a few years ago, but it shows ambition for us to sign him. I'm hoping in January we can sign some. We need to sign some strikers. I think we obviously know that. I mean, JD's done a fantastic job, but and hopefully, like I said, it's only another 2 more games, and then Adi Bayol will be back. But you've got to hope that Adi, Adi's going to go after African Cup of Nations and. What can happen there? Obviously, we'll remember the tragedy that happened a couple of years ago. Was it 2 years ago? Was it 2 years ago or 3 years ago? Yeah, that obviously remember how tragic was it? 3 years ago, yeah. And You know, it's always, you know, how, you know, I mean, I'm not saying it'll happen again, but, you know, there's fatigue. And obviously, like, remember the Mido season, remember we lost him to Egypt and we really failed to win games we should, or, you know, that we should have won. And, you know, as a result, lasagna as well, but we missed out Champions League. I think we missed off, you know, we lost Carroll that year and we really missed a chance to really cement a place forward. It is how it goes sometimes. That is just the nature of the beast. Because I honestly think they would have lost Henry that year. I really do think that. They had lost Henry, and they're going to sell him anyway, but they'd lost him on a free, and that really would have hurt them. I'll tell you one thing, though. How would you not feel about signing Walcott on a free, if that was possible? I'm just saying, JD is 30 years old. How much time has he got left? And Walcott on a free. Call him a cunt, call him whatever. You know, I would love to do to Arsenal what they did to us with Sol Campbell. It's just a thought, and I think, you know, he is, you know, he can play as a wing forward, you know, and he can play up front as well. And I think, you know, why not? Especially if he's on a free. If he's on a free, forget his Arsenal ties. I think he's a good player. People hate the guy, but I think he's an excellent player. He's quick. He's absolutely lightning fast. And so the problem that JD has from being offside, I mean, JD's quick. Walcott's quicker. That's the simple truth of the matter. And I think it will be an interesting scene if we can do that. And I think he can be converted to a striker. But let's just see how that works out. But that's for like next summer. I think, you know, me personally, I'd like to see what Tom Carroll can do. But obviously now Dembele back. I would like to see a 4-3-3 of Dembele, Carroll, and Sandro. I mean, Sandro, and that guy, I mean, he took a shot to the chest, and he was on oxygen. I mean, my God, that guy's a warrior. You know, the guy's a beast. And I'd like to see how those three play together. And, you know, like I said, who knows? In a couple of times, you know, a couple of weeks ago, we've been playing JD in out. You know, let's say, you know, we need to give him a little bit of a break. You know, start maybe, you know, Adebayor and, you know, Lennon and Bale, and have those three in the middle. Just see how that works out. But it's nice to have those options. Anyway, I've been chatting for about 17 or so minutes. You're probably getting really bored of me. Not surprised. And, you know, on that bombshell, that's right, Dom, I'm going to sign off. Give a big shout out to my mates, a couple of mates of mine, Jeremy Kinsella and Peter Molnar, two great guys. One, Jeremy's from the Emerald Isle, and Peter's from the wonderful, beautiful country of Croatia. And yeah, hopefully I'll speak. You know, hopefully I'll be coming over for some games, and hopefully I'll see them when they come over here. And yeah. As always, please give me a shout on YouTube. Always great to hear from you. Major Hank, dude, where are you? Man, I haven't heard from you for a while. So yeah, and some of the other guys up. You know, I mean, I'm great. Don't me wrong. I appreciate Super Spurs. Double one two. But Triple KL, where you been, mate? Come on, give me a bell. And yeah, and Kevin G, bro. If you don't know Kevin G, this is the guy who had a bet with Arsenal fans. Look, if we lose, I'll wear. This is the guy, like, it's an Arsenal team, you know, even with the Adebayor sending off, we could have lost anyway, you know, 11 against 11, but not only does he take the bet, he honours the bet, and he even puts it in his cover picture, wearing the Arsenal shot. That is what I call balls. So yeah, give a shout out to him as well. Please click on the ad links as they appear, and as always, come on you Spurs.